Doing another stream today. Now, if you watch me on PeerTube, you know that I did a stream a couple days ago on PeerTube, and it was very successful in terms of it actually worked, which I was surprised about. So if you don't watch me on PeerTube, you need to right now. Go to videos.lukesmith.xyz, subscribe to the RSS there, or I think they can even do email notifications. So that's where I'm going to be doing more and more streams there as opposed to YouTube. The only reason I want to do, well, I want to do one on YouTube today, but what I really want is I want to have a server that can stream to both at the same time. I just got to work up, figuring out the Nginx, configuration to that to stream to multiple places. Okay, let me actually see if we're live and I'm not just talking to a microphone. Let's see. So, in other news, you will notice that I have the same donate link that's always been there, but I've redone that page. Here's the deal, okay? I know that you can give super chats on YouTube. I know that that's possible, but give them there instead, okay? I have a much better system worked out now. It is now a page you can actually subscribe. I mean, you can like do a recurring donation every month, and you can give a super chat, like one-time donation. I would much prefer people use that rather than YouTube, okay? Because YouTube super chats, they take something like 30% of everything. I mean, maybe it's not that high, but it's ridiculous how much YouTube takes. So I'll read donations. I'll even read super chats from YouTube, but I prefer you give them there, okay? Those are going to have priorities. So if you want to get rid of your Biden bucks, you can go ahead and do that. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm figuring out the PeerTube stream thing. The PeerTube stream that I did a couple days ago worked fantastically, okay? Now, I didn't have that many people tuning in because there's no good way of telling people to subscribe there, or, like, it doesn't give immediate notifications. It, like, gives a notification once... I forget how it is. Like, the RSS only goes out after the video is totally done, okay? So that doesn't work. So I'll have to find another way to notify people when I'm doing streams there. The ideal... Oh, and the other thing about PeerTube streams, they don't have a chat. So I think the ideal would be me having a page, maybe live.lukesmith.xyz, where it has the PeerTube stream, and it has the chat that's maybe IRC or something like that, on the other hand, or on the other side. Yeah. Anyway, oh, and by the way, on the donate page, I mentioned this in the PeerTube stream, even if you're not going to donate, click on that, and then click on random stuff, because the page was crashing the first day I put it up, okay? I think I fixed it, but just stress test that, see if it's going to work. Actually, I'm going to pull it up on my machine just to see if it's going to work, because I would really, it's done with software that's called FossPay, where you just run it on your own server, and it directly deals with the payment processor. It's not, I mean, you don't have to deal with Patreon, you don't have to deal with YouTube or anything. It's software on your own server. You can do recurring donations. It's great. So just go there. Even if you're not going to donate, just click on things. Okay, you don't have to give me your Biden bucks. Just click on things to make sure it's not going to break. Okay, it's working for me right now. So actually, let me see. Let me test. Let's see if I can donate myself money. Actually, I can't, but I'm going to just make sure that it actually pops up. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's popping up. All right. Anyway. Great. So, yeah, what are we going to talk about today? I am doing chores in town and stuff like that, so that's why I'm here. $10 from Adrian. Says, keep up the amazing work. Because of you, I bought a ThinkPad X220 and love it more than I ever loved my Surface Pro. Well, that's a big improvement. That reminds me, I had a friend in town who had a ThinkPad X220 tablet, which I've never actually seen in person. So I got to touch one of those for the first time and just sort of play around with it. It's a little clunky, but, I mean, whatever. Works for him. So, yeah, and that was donated through the new donation service. Again, it's also nice. You just get one email with the actual message, not stupid Streamlabs crap. But whatever, you can do that if you want. What I really need, since, I really want people using... well, this is like a pipe dream. This is like free software I would like to have. I would like to have something I could host on my server that tests the Monero blockchain with my private view key and sees if I got a donation. That would be a nice thing. Just host it on your own server. I'm not going to give my public view key to someone else, but that's just something to think about. All right, so All right, I'm gonna look at the chat for a second. Why use IRC and not XMPP? Well, I don't use either of them, but it's easier, from what I know, to just spin up a random IRC web client chat room that normal people can log into, and they don't even know what IRC is. Okay, I don't use IRC. I don't use XMPP. But I don't care about some niche software. I really just want something usable for people. So, you know, that's why I have it. Or like I'd think about it. Okay. I feel like there was something else important. Okay, so the recipe site. If you keep up with me on RSS, or if you watch the PeerTube stream or whatever, I finally actually made the recipe site that I was talking about. In fact, it has lots of stuff on it, and I'll do a video. I actually recorded a video this morning to put up. But I don't think it looked good. I know that's a weird thing to say. That's a sort of a nitpick. But I might actually refilm the video. The lighting in the room was bad. I know, that sounds like such a silly thing to say. Maybe it was because it was cloudy out. I usually like recording videos only when it's sunny. I know that sounds like a weird thing, but that's usually what I do, whether they're inside or out. But I made a recipe site, and it is based.cooking. Based.cooking. Yes, cooking apparently is a top-level domain. That's what it is. And it has probably 100 recipes. A lot of people have submitted them on GitHub. I will do a little video review of the site probably when I record that video again. But that is what a website is supposed to look like. So, oh shoot, it just made a bunch of sound. Oh, okay. I have my volume on my computer making noise. So yeah, that is it's very nice actually how this works, because people have submitted a bunch of stuff. Some of them, not all of, well, most of them don't have pictures, okay, but I want people to take pictures of the actual things they make, not just get stupid stock photos. So I'm pretty strict on that. But lots of people submitted, and it's just you get to submit, and at the bottom you can put, you know, name, credit, like, oh, I submitted this recipe, here's my website or Bitcoin donation, you know, address or something like that. So that's how it's arranged. And a couple, I mean, we've had probably 200 pull requests already just to do this or that or the other. And it also has tags. I'll talk about that in the video. It's a perfectly static site. It's actually based on a make file. And you generate tags, and it generates automatically an RSS feed of recent entries, Atom feed as well. So yeah, it's very nice. Okay, I like it. And I might change the design of it, but again, based.cooking. So, let's see. I think there was a YouTube super chat, but I'll have to check that in a second. I will read the FOSPay donations first. $10 from Vanikus. I don't know. Oh, and if you the FOSPay donations, put your name in the comment if you want it read. Otherwise, I'm just going to read the first part of your email address. I won't read the whole thing, but he says, hello from the Ukraine, Luke. I really appreciate what you're doing. Take care of yourself. Thank you. Blazing Waffles donated $5 per month. Check out Dr. Stephen Meyer with the Discovery Institute on Intelligent Design and the Probability of Abiogenesis. See, I don't trust any of those intelligent design people, okay? Because I like, the more I look into them, the more it just seems like they're doing word soup, okay? I don't really take them very serious. Like, I don't think they're... we talked about this on the last stream, okay? Because I told people, all right, red pill me, try to convince me that evolution is fake, okay, basically. Because someone asked me about, like, oh, you're a Christian and you believe in evolution or something like that. Like, you know, how do you know what's literal versus not literal and stuff like that? And I said, yeah, I mean, it's not even that I believe in evolution. I just sort of like, yeah, it probably happened. I don't really care that much about it. So I asked people, okay, red pill me on this. If there's something out there, if there's some reason to not believe, it's really not evolution. It's really common ancestry with animals, okay? And like all that kind of stuff. Red pill me on why that shouldn't be. And I will say I've looked into the intelligent design people, and that I am not impressed. I'll just say that. And the more I look, again, it just seems like word soup. I don't think there's much behind it. They just have like 2 or 3 arguments that are actually pretty easily wiped away by people who know what they're talking about. So I'm just critical of those people. But I don't know. Maybe there's some stuff I haven't read by them. Okay, so $2. This is basically the same live as the one on PeerTube, so as to keep the deja vu going, I'll donate again. All right, thank you, sirs. Yeah, we'll see. What's going on over there? There's someone doing something here. I'm not alone here. Let me look at the YouTube chat. I didn't actually pull that up. Hold on. Streamlabs. I gotta pull that up. Give me a second. Okay, maybe I could just pull it up on the chat window. Sorry this is taking so long. Okay, I'll just manually scroll up to it. Sibulus donates £2, says become orthodox. Alright. Starlink work in a hurricane, I don't know. We'll have to find out. Penguin King donates $5. Did you see the article about you? No, I didn't, and I don't. You shouldn't read the news. Okay, so I think if anyone has had trouble with the FOSPay thing, the donate page, just tell me. Because, oh my goodness, I'm getting a bunch of spam. Okay, I've been getting so much YouTube spam recently. Like people who want to, like, robots who want to collab or something like that. That's the most annoying thing ever. Okay, I'm looking at the normal chat right now. Earth is 7K years old. Normies stay mad. Based. Okay, $10 from £10 from TF. When are you gonna get a cut job? I don't know if I feel like it. I'm thinking about starting yet another business thing. Well, you guys might know I have the print-on-demand service thing that I'm looking on or working on, like you know, printing out of print books and stuff like that. But in addition to that, I sort of want a more normie thing, like something that I can do day in, day out. Now, as for actually, shoot, I thought I had one of. Okay, I had one of those books. I brought it before. I had it with me earlier today. I was going to give it to someone, but I have already started reprinting some, you know, some of the books that I've talked about, only to get proofs and stuff. So we'll see how that works. I mean, I'm having a lot of trouble with the print-on-demand service. I'm using Lulu, and they are not very responsive. I mean, responsive. It takes like 2 days to get a response from them. Okay, on a ticket, and I want to get this thing underway. I wanted to get it underway like a month or two ago, but I'm still, you know, it's a big pain. But that's just one thing I'm working on. All right, check the email. Yeah, I got to check my email consistently now that we're using the FOSPay thing, which again I recommend people to use instead of YouTube or whatever. And you don't need an account. That's the other nice thing. Or I'm pretty sure you have to have an account to donate on YouTube. But all right. Why do you wait? Hold on. I think there's delay on my side. I can't quite tell though. Lulu is crap. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, they're all bad. Like all of these print-on-demand services, and they're also the annoying thing is that like I know how to compile PostScript and stuff like that, and you know, get a good PDF and like do formatting. But the issue is like the people on the support ticket, they're like totally like that. They're talking to you with the assumption that you're using like Adobe stuff, or you don't know what you're doing, or you're like a normie, and it's sort of annoying. Like there's a part of me that just wants, could you please escalate my ticket in some way so like I can talk to someone? They're weird. Let's just say you send them a PDF, and the book does not exactly look like the PDF. That's the problem I had. 5 CHF from Eleanor's. I went to Anarchapulco 2021. They had lots of nice parties and no one was wearing masks. You should go. Wow, that sounds big cringe. I'm not going to go to that. But yeah, of course not wearing masks. I mean, Where do you think I've ever worn a mask? I've never worn a mask. Or maybe I have at some point. But not in like a year or something like that. Like most normal, well-adjusted places, you will never, ever, ever have to wear a mask. So it's not for you wages who are living in big cities. You know, maybe that's a problem for you. It isn't really a problem out here. So, Mark donates $2. What do you think about Pop! OS? Seems like a great alternative to Ubuntu. I've never used Pop! OS. I don't really care about whatever the new distro is. I mean, Pop! OS, at least, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be all free software, so that's nice. So it has some advantage over Ubuntu, which, you know, has all this proprietary junk in their repos. I'm pretty sure Pop! OS is all free software. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it uses the Linux Libre kernel. Oh, excuse me. Off the top of my head, but I mean, I've never used, what is it, System 76? Is that the Pop! OS guy, or is it the Librem guy? I always get them confused. I've never used one of their computers, and of course you can install it on other stuff, but I've never had a need to. I mean, when I recommend people to use Linux for the first time, now I'm starting to recommend people Artix, okay? I even did a video a couple months ago saying, oh, you should try Manjaro if you're new. But even that I don't necessarily endorse anymore, because Manjaro, I didn't even realize it. They've added all this trash, you know? They have like snaps and Flatpaks, and all that kind of stuff, I think by default now. And they have like an extra package manager that they're trying to get to replace Pacman. It's just a mess because they have all these competing standards, and it's confusing to normies. Like my cousin installed it on his dad's computer, and they have like 2 different file browsers on Manjaro for some, I forget which desktop environment it is, but it's just stupid. Like, there's no reason to do that kind of stuff. But what was I going to say? So yeah, I usually just recommend Artix for people. I mean, that's the only, because it is still sort of simple and it's still Arch-based. You can move up to Artix or whatever, or, you know, Arch Linux or, I mean, Artix, of course, has you know, desktop environments unlike Arch, so that's nice. Shimizu donates $5. What about VPNs? So VPNs, so Wolfgang has done, I think, the conclusive video on VPNs. Just search VPNs in Wolfgang and it'll come up. Because VPNs there is no reason to use them whatsoever, unless you literally live in a country where you have to access a site that you can't get access to, in which case you can just use a proxy, okay? VPNs are they're utter placebo. They are quite literally the definition of a honeypot. Let's have a business that caters to people who, you know, care about privacy and make them pay us. Now we are one giant honeypot that the government can just spy on. And guess what? There are non-disclosure laws, gag rules, and stuff like that make them comply with governments. Like, VPNs are moronic, and there's one reason and one reason only that they have become popular on YouTube. It's because people shill them. Like, these companies will pay people who run, people who have YouTube channels big money to shill this garbage software that you do not need. Because what happens is you have a server farm, or you have like a bunch of storage space, and you're like, shoot, what are we going to do with it? Let's have this placebo service called a VPN, okay? Totally useless. Anyway, as I said, Wolfgang did a very good video maybe a year or so ago. I think it actually became a pretty big video. It might have 1 million views or something, I don't know. But he did, I think, the clearest video on why VPNs are just waste your time, and you can't even do one yourself, but even that doesn't provide that many advantages, okay? So if you really care, look at that, but in reality, like, VPNs are just useless, okay? They're just it's just you paying money to give your privacy information to someone else, as opposed to your ISP, when in reality, like, your ISP, they don't care about you. They're not spying on you, unless they have some specific reason, which they really don't. The only thing they care is every once in a while, if some company sends them a cease and desist because someone's been torrenting, some kind of copyrighted movie. That's the only time they care about you. Whereas putting, I don't know, it's just silly. Okay, that's all I have to say. Blazing sends in $5. Favorite dilation tool? Lol. Well, no one needs to dilate because this is a mentally sound channel. Mr. Adam Wise sends in $10 per month. Thank you. Hey Luke, can you tell me where to find that history article you mentioned last stream concerning the catastrophe in the 10th century, I think. It was an alternate history theory. Okay, let me look it up right now so I can guarantee you what it is. Okay, I remember it was on uns.com a long time ago. Let's see. Last millennium. It's not actually about the catastrophe of the 10th century. It's really about the idea that the first millennium is like it was actually only 300 years old. And then people after the 10th century, what we call the 10th century, got totally confused. Let me find... okay, so on your search engine, look up how fake is Roman antiquity, and it's on uns.com, unz.com. And that's the first of the 3 articles. And this guy in the articles, he has a slightly different take. He's eventually going to tell you to look into, what is it, Gunnar Heinsen or something like that, who actually does like the archaeology of it. Is it called archaeology if it's only a couple hundred years old? I don't know. But he does the archaeology of it, basically saying, I mean, the idea is that classical Rome and late classical Byzantium and the Carolingian Empire were actually concurrent, okay? And they are in the stratigraphy. Like if you dig underground, it's not like there are multiple different layers for these different periods. They're all the same thing. And the argument is basically later historians after the 10th century, when there was a lack in knowledge, people just sort of assumed, like they took the stories of each of these 3 areas and assumed that they came after each other, that they were sequential rather than concurrent. Okay, so that's his argument. And whether or not you take it seriously, I think it's very interesting as a read. Okay, I want to do a video on it because I honestly read it months ago and I showed my friends and stuff like that, and we were like, wow, this is interesting. But it keeps coming back up because it's an interesting idea, even if it's totally fake. It at least is an exercise in what do you actually know about this kind of basic stuff. So yeah, that's it. Again, if to look it up, look up how fake is Roman antiquity on uns.com. David Von Simpson, $5. But all my favorite YouTubers told me Nord makes me invisible online. No, it's the most ridiculous thing. Yeah, you're literally just paying someone to give them your internet history. Why would you do that? Especially, and there have been many cases of these kind of companies, being audited by governments and stuff like that. It's a big like, hey, please look at my data, okay? So let's see if I missed any other YouTube super chats. $10 or $10.50 from Nathan. Any recommendations for spelling and grammar checks while essay writing in LaTeX? I've relied on Vim spell check and had 1 or 2 embarrassing mistakes. Grammar, I don't know if you're a non-native speaker of English. I don't really feel like I need a grammar check. Whether I'm speaking real English or like fake school English where you don't end sentences with prepositions, I get along fine. I've not had a need for that. As for Vim spell check, I mean, you can add words. I think I did a video on the Vim spell check feature like 3 or 4 years ago. Man, it seems like so long ago. That's when I was, wow, that was like, I remember when I did that video. But you can actually add, in the video I talk about, you can add words to your Vim dictionary or remove them or whatever. So I don't know if you want something more than that. I don't know what to tell you. There might be someone who has a list of advisable words to add to a Vim spell check, but I feel that it's certainly sufficient, although I don't actually use it that much. I don't really turn it on that much. Okay, let me check for more donations on FossPay. I'm glad that people are using FossPay. It is actually very nice. Orthodox Bro donates $10. Hey, first time watching the stream live. Last time you said you haven't read Dostoevsky, so I recommend him. Take care. Okay, I might. I don't have any of his books. Usually what happens is, when it comes to literature, I'm not really big on literature. Wait, did he... I assume he wrote mostly literature, but usually what happens is someone will give me the book and years later I'll actually read it. That's usually how it is. So, Okay, $5 from Matthews. Matthews, I don't know how that's pronounced. What language would that be? Is that Czech or Polish? I don't know. Anyway, oh, he says he's from Poland. Either way, is the USA really such a bad place to live like it seems? I'm from Poland myself, and basing it on the news and friends' experience who lived in Washington for a year, it looks really like a poop hole with constant social instabilities and bad food. P.S. Thanks for your vids. Learned a lot from them. Well, it depends on where you... Like, if you move to a big city in America, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, you're moving to literally hell. Like, I don't know what you're thinking. So if you mean Washington as in Washington, D.C., they sort of asked for it. As for Washington State, it might depend on where you live. But, yeah, I mean, out here, things are fine. Things are normal. This is normal life. No one wears a mask. No one does anything stupid. You just gotta, like, 90% of the country is totally, of the physical space in the country is totally great to live in. It's just people get confused because, like, America is this, like, force of cultural evil in the world, and they see that and they assume that America must be, like, so much more far gone than a lot of other places. In a lot of senses, that's not true. Like, America still has huge advantages in most of the country. Now, you might be run by a very hostile government that's nearly openly out to get you, but it's not that... I mean, they can't come for everyone, you know what I mean? And things have only really gotten politically that bad. I mean, well, they've really always been bad, but they're losing the sublimated sense in which they're bad. They're more explicitly bad now. But, you know... Like, as for people who are like, oh, I don't want to go to America because I'm afraid, if you go to a normal place in America, you're not going to get mugged, you're not going to get robbed, you're not going to get killed, you're not going to, you know, have crazy people in masks, you know, harass you. Most places in this country are totally normal, okay? It might seem like crazy on TV, but it's not that nutty. The 27 sends in $5. Opinion on institutional investors in crypto piling in. Seems like they could use it to control Bitcoin, i.e. Custodial accounts. I mean, well, I see, the thing is, Bitcoin itself, it depends on what you mean by control Bitcoin. I mean, it's a decentralized protocol. Even if people, you know, are aggregating to giant exchanges and all these shill services, the basic functionality is still... I mean, it's the same thing like the internet, right? The internet is a decentralized protocol, right? I mean, more or less. As long as you're connected to someone, it's fine, like with a wire. But a lot of people go to these big sites like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. And even though that's happened, the rest of the internet is still there, okay? So it's sort of the same thing with Bitcoin. You might have giant exchanges, you might have, you know, custodial accounts and stuff like that, which I think are a bad thing. And I think people will gradually come to realize that they're a bad thing. But it's not hurting people who avoid those things, at least I don't think. Now, as for, like, big investors, I mean, I think people are going to use Bitcoin more and more as a store of value. We'll see after this bull run is over how many people are still left. Like, what is the market cap of Bitcoin going to be after the crash? Is it still going to be over 100 or a trillion or something like that? I don't know. I don't know how high the bull run's going to go. I don't know how hard it's going to fall. Okay, I don't know. But I am probably not going to get rid of anything more than I've gotten rid of now. So, Andre donates $3. No more streams on PeerTube. I mean, there was only one stream on PeerTube, and I plan on doing it again. It's just I need to work out the restream service that is... I mean, right now I can do PeerTube or I can do YouTube, one or the other. I can't stream to both at once. That's what I really want. So I will do that, and hopefully eventually Odyssey or Library will get their streaming worked out. Yeah, it's just once I figure out... So if anyone has done this before, if anyone has used an Nginx server with the... So the annoying thing with Nginx, okay, is when I have to add a module to it, it just seems so much more difficult than it should be. And Nginx has a RTMP or RMTP, I always forget which one it is. Like it's for restreaming video. You can stream a video feed to it, and you can have it streamed to other places. That's what I want. And Nginx has a module like that. It was just a pain trying to get it installed. And of course, the build of Nginx I have on the server I'm going to use already has some other weird modules. So it's just a pain keeping track of it. But I do plan on doing all that. Let me look at the YouTube Super chat thing. Okay. So again, I will read super chats, but I recommend you to use that thing. Use that. Highly recommend that, but I will read super chats. Mateo sends in 20 reals after red pilling us on cooking. Do you have anything else to red pill us on? I've heard about the benefits of waking up early to work during the sun hours. Anything to add or something else unrelated you want to talk about? I don't know. As for waking up in the morning, if you wake up, I mean, you got to wake up with the sunrise, frankly. That's how it is. If not before the sunrise. Like, I have never used an alarm clock, even when I have recently had a wagey job, okay, or salary job, I guess. Even in the periods where I've had that, I do not use an alarm clock. I don't use anything. Okay, just keep your blinds open. Keep your, wherever you are, just get in the habit of waking up with the sun. Don't rely on an alarm clock. Don't rely on a cell phone. That's all I can tell you. And go to sleep when the sun goes down. Or, maybe a couple hours after the sun goes down. Okay, if you're on the computer at 12, you're doing something wrong. Okay. That's all I can tell you about that. But that's just basic stuff. That's just basic boomer stuff. I mean, anyone should know this. 10 pounds from TF are online crypto shills, e.g. for centralized finance, all hypocrites, shilling crypto but using Bill Gates software all day rather than using free software. I mean, most crypto shills are shilling it because they want money. You know what I mean? Like, they're investors, okay? That's the thing. There are very few people who actually care. I mean, well, there are people who care about the technology because they think blockchains are cool. Wow, look at all the things we could do with that. But I think very few people are actually like, oh, I really want a peer-to-peer money service, or especially something like Monero, which is actually legitimately, really private, unlike Bitcoin. So I think there's not that much concern among these people. I'm not going to call them shills by themselves, but I just sort of feel like, yeah, they're interested in it for another reason that's maybe not complete. Okay. In the ideal world, what Bitcoin and what cryptocurrencies are, is they are an internet protocol for exchanging money, okay? In the same way that HTTP is a protocol, in the same way that email is a basic aspect of the internet, that is what Bitcoin is supposed to be, and that's what it does, okay? So it's a peer-to-peer thing. You don't have to rely on some other service to do it. You can have your own wallet, and you can transact with someone else, okay? And it's not even a centralization, but you have Bitcoin nodes, but they're decentralized, right? They're not run by one party. So yeah, I wouldn't call them shill. I mean, a lot of people who are doing videos on cryptocurrencies on YouTube, I mean, they're basically shills. I mean, actually, there was a video I almost once did. I might still do it. There's just like a compilation of all the stupid thumbnails that all of these crypto, I don't want to call them scammers, but hype beasts, because all of their thumbnails are literally like soy dev, like faces, Bitcoin, it's going to the moon, blah blah blah, like every single one of them. You can go to any of these big channels and they all look exactly the same. It's ridiculous. So I actually made a giant montage of them, and it was going to be just me talking about some stupid Bitcoin hype thing, just displaying all of these seizure-inducing images of just people with their soy faces. It's ridiculous, all right, let me check the FostPay donations. Okay, $3. Will you take the vaccine? Lol. Do you think they'll make it mandatory? Do you think the corona stuff will ever end? Is it a conspiracy? No, of course I'm not taking the vaccine. Do you think they'll make it mandatory? As much as they can. In the United States, they probably legally won't be able to do that, but they will try and peer pressure, like social pressure, because, that's what they try and do with masks, because, nearly every court is like, oh yeah, that was illegal, all the shutdown stuff, but, I mean, they're going to try their best. Will it ever end? I think it will probably be used as a justification for everything for the next 10 years at least. It'll gradually ramp down, but I guarantee you, I would not be surprised at all if in 2025, They are still doing this thing. Well, all the other strands of coronavirus didn't kill all these people, but this new COVID strain is going to kill. This one's for real this time. I mean, that's what they're trying to do now, right? Is it a conspiracy? I mean, you don't have to think. Well, his donation says, is it a conspiracy? You don't have to even think of it in conspiracy theory terms. Okay, well, first off, when it comes to some people that people usually pass conspiracy theories about, like Bill Gates and stuff like this, like these people, the worst thing is these people actually believe what they're doing, okay? That is much worse than a conspiracy, and I think, do you want to debate if their self-interest plays into what they're doing? Probably, but this is worse than a conspiracy. It is a decentralized, bottom-up, well, it's not even bottom-up, really, but it's like, it's like the video I did on social media. The people in control can push, they can engineer a sort of bottom-up fake, what's the word for, not grassroots, astroturfed movement. And so the people who are still doing this hysteria stuff, they legitimately believe it. I don't think there's any need to posit a conspiracy theory, because I think everyone is openly motivated by the things they say they're openly motivated by. Is there money involved? Sure. But I don't find it, like, a lot of people will get fixated on, like, oh, well, Fauci got money from this or blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not even necessary. Just look at it. I mean, I worked in universities for forever, so I'm used to hysteria being a thing. Like, most, peer-reviewed, quote-unquote, disciplines, they're just, like, controlled, social structures where you have, like, this kind of idiosyncratic belief system that is, unprovable and does its own thing on its own momentum. So I feel no need to talk about conspiracies with Corona. Okay. So, $5 from Alexander. Hey Luke, hope you are having a fruitful Lent. My question is, what are your thoughts on the housing market? I would like to be based, and I have one place, but up here in Michigan, it seems that I'll have to pay so much for a cardboard box. You think a crash is coming? Well, as with anything, it depends on where you are in Michigan. Anywhere, I just say move out further. Move out. I mean, if you're talking about this for your own investment, like I don't know if you're flipping houses or something like that. I mean, no matter what it is, I think that you should cut and move further out no matter what you're doing. That's what I would say. And out in the country, I'll tell you that, like, land, if there's a housing bubble going on again, it is not the case out here. Okay, you can surprisingly get houses extremely cheap. I mean, if you get like in our town or whatever, you can get a dilapidated house, like a fix-me-upper, for like I don't know, like $30,000 or something like that. I consider that pretty cheap. Sometimes less than that. So that's what I'm trying to say, though, is out here, if there is a bubble going on, it is not affecting us. So I think it would be a more stable investment to have a house further out. Now, as for what's going on in cities, I can't tell you. I'd have to know exactly where you live and the how it is out there and stuff like that. But I think the Corona stuff in particular is going to make more rural housing more desirable. And not really the Corona stuff, really the lockdown stuff. That's frankly is why people are leaving. They're not actually leaving because they're afraid of this virus. They're afraid of living in a prison for the rest of their lives. So I consider no matter what, being in a rural environment is a better idea. But just in terms of investing in land and property in general, I think that's after Bitcoin, after fake internet money, I think that rural land is an excellent store of value. Okay, it's especially legitimately rural land. It's only going to go up, whether if that's due to inflation or due to more people moving out there or something like that. And I've talked about in other videos, like the family members I have who own land around here, and not just my family, like lots of people. Like even if you're doing nothing on some land, you can grow pine, you can do other things, you can let people use it, and you can actually make good money passively doing that kind of stuff. I don't have any land like that, but maybe I will at some point. So $5 from Josh. First time catching a stream. Thanks for all you do. You've led me to greatly consider orthodoxy over my Southern Baptist roots. You seemed to indicate some points of disagreement, difficulty with orthodoxy. I'm curious if there's anything to that, and if you could mention it. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of what you might be referring to. I don't I may have expressed uncertainty of like specific Orthodox congregations that I've, been near. But doctrinally, I think I've said this many times before. I think on the things where Orthodox take stands, I think they are on the most solid foundations compared to Catholics or the, a million different special snowflake kinds of Protestants. And additionally, Orthodoxy, probably even better, this definitely puts them ahead of the Catholics. They are content to be silent on issues that they don't, they have no reason to talk about. You know what I mean? They have no reason to proclaim some dogmatic opinion about. So I don't quite know if you remember specifically what I may have said. I might be able to tell you, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any big disagreements I have with Orthodox. Okay, let me. I'm gonna look briefly. I'm missing some of the YouTube super chats. Sorry about that, guys. Because I'm really looking at the FOSPay stuff, so that should incentivize you further to use that instead. Because shoot. Okay, this. But I'm gonna scroll back and see if I can see any. 5 Canadian from Farson. Have you ever taken an interest in functional programming languages such as Haskell? I actually had a class where I used some Haskell, but like any interest I've had in them is merely academic. I'm not really that interested in them per se. I mean, you guys know really the only programming, quote unquote, that I do is maintain a couple suckless forks, which isn't really programming at all. I've added like 1 or 2 things. Most of the stuff comes from patches, so I'm not a big programmer. The only thing I really do that often, most of my dot files is this, but, I just have a bunch of scripts that I use for that. So ironically, the only language I'm really that interested in is POSIX compliant shell scripting. Donald sends in $5. For splitting your RTMP stream, take a look at this simple RTMP splitter. It's called Prism. He links a GitHub thing. I will take a note of that, and I'll look at that in a bit. Okay. Let me see. Scroll back up. Okay. Sorry, got more FOSPay stuff. BJ sends in $5. Can you upload somewhere your lost selfie stream where you talked about the COVID's vaccines? I don't remember. Okay, I think I know what he's. There was like one time where I did a stream on my phone just for fun, and I guess people. I don't remember talking about the vaccines. I don't remember what I said either. I have nothing. I mean, other than I probably just mentioned the fact that, well, I'll say this. Maybe this is what I said about this. Like the media, and they're sort of coming to the point where they have to acknowledge that this is true. The media is shilling. Okay, you have to realize about these vaccines. If you call them vaccines, that is a significant semantic broadening of what the word vaccine means, okay? Because these are mRNA treatments. They're not vaccines in the sense, let's inject dead coronavirus into him so his body builds up antibodies. That's not what it's doing. It's mRNA that works literally like a virus. It takes over your cells and produces this stuff that is supposed to, make the coronavirus less harmful for you or something like that. That's basically what it's supposed to be. So I think I may have said something like, what I just said. Like, calling it a vaccine is a broadening of the term. And this technology, mind you, this is not something that has been used for average flu vaccines at a massive level. Like, this thing that they're shipping out, they want to make a bajillion vaccines. This is like, it's not just that you have to trust this new vaccine. You have to trust this new technology. So that's why I said, even if hypothetically I were actually afraid of this disease, I would not get this novel virus or novel vaccine because, I mean, I'd at least give it some time because this is like more of an unknown than the coronavirus itself is. Okay, that's what I think is most disturbing. Even if you're one of these, even if you're still doing the, it's a black swan, this virus is really novel or something like that. Even if you're still doing that, that is no excuse for injecting some new uncertainty into... And it's just suspicious. I think everyone needs to be suspicious about how overwhelming the media is just promoting this stuff. I mean, that should go without saying. Okay. $5 from Lucas. What What do I do if I live in a country like Germany where everything is closed except supermarkets, even outside of big cities, and masks are not the biggest problem? Protest and get called a Nazi by the media. Well, I don't know how it is in Germany. I don't know how bad it is. I don't know what your options are. I mean, if it's like that, even in small towns, I don't know what to say. That's sad. But I mean, out here in Georgia and Florida and all the states around here, I mean, most places, I assume, in the whole country here, even in big cities, no one even cares about. I mean, I went on vacation with my cousin and friends and stuff a month or so ago. And everywhere we went, I mean, I guess there were people with masks, but we went to big cities and no one was wearing a mask. Okay, like no one cares. Like, so it's weird. I don't know. I pity you. That's all I can say. I don't know how it is. I can't give you an out in Germany because I don't know where you can escape in Germany. But in America, even in big cities that aren't that insane, you're not going to see masks. Like how it is here is like, I mean, well, I mentioned Georgia, but in Florida, you go to the big cities in Florida, like some people will wear their masks, but everywhere will have many, many people, usually the majority of people not wearing masks. If you want to go to a place where people are actually wearing masks, you have to go to some like crazy liberal college town. That's about it. And I assume that like politics is probably a proxy as well. Like if you go to like Seattle or some, Portland, some liberal city, I'm going to guess that they are wearing masks, unironically. But I don't know. But yeah, most of this country is totally sane. I feel free if you're somewhere like that, but I can't give you any advice. Let's see. Where is my... Shoot. Sorry, I need to... Okay, I don't think there have been any YouTube super chats. I'm trying to look at the YouTube chat every once in a while. But as I said, I really need to get IRC working. So that would be nice. Now, of course, I don't want people to use IRC. I mean, well, I'm not... Okay, that's not the wrong way to say it. A lot of people ask me to, like, start using IRC or do videos on it, but I just have no need or desire to. But using it for chat would be nice, especially because people don't necessarily have to know that they're using IRC. You just have a little window that says, here's our chat room. Lambert sends in $2. Hello, everyone. Please become Orthodox Christian. Based. John Doe sends in, I guess that's 45 Danish kroners or something like that. Luke, I see you still talking positively about Orthodoxy on several streams. Are you, part of the church or just sympathetic? I guess I'm sort of a catechumen. I've not been baptized into the Orthodox Church. Axalia sends in £5. Please merge my PR on GitHub. We'll keep donating here. Consider adding PayFriend. YouTube doesn't allow the word option. I've never heard of PayFriend. PayPal? I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about PayPal, like that donation link, much better. Okay, I'll tell you. It's because you don't need to have an account. You don't need to have anything. I do have a PayPal link. You can, I think, send money to my email address. But yeah, I don't have it on my my donate page now. I just simplified it, so it's just that stuff. I probably should have a more complete page. Right now, I think I just have that and then a link to like a cryptocurrency page. Okay. Let me double check the FOSPay donations. Oh, do I have two? Okay, that's why it's messed up. All right. No, it's just junk. I get all this junk from my stupid old PhD program, which doesn't exist. I'm sure they think they exist, but they don't even go to... Okay, let me tell you something absurd. Okay. Now, I am so glad that I left the university before the Holocaust, okay? Because just seeing their emails, they are so absurd and so stupid, because basically they're keeping up the pretenses of having a department and doing stuff. Now, firstly, let's be real. Graduate school is a waste of time, especially if you're in a if you're not in a clinical discipline. If you're in an academic discipline, graduate school is just like you hang out with your friends and do nothing, and like the work is nominal. That's how it is. Anyone, and I'm not talking about clinical stuff. I mean, if you're doing clinical stuff, you might have a lot of work to do. But for academic disciplines, graduate school is it's like living in a playground, okay? It's a big joke. So the whole thing is a pretense, but they're still trying to keep up the pretense of this stuff and doing their department and stuff. The funniest thing to me, though, is when I was still there, when I was still at Arizona, they started doing this stuff where, oh, I'm so, frustrated and distracted and stuff, because I have all these TV shows and movies to consume. I got to consume all these products. So here's what we do. We're going to have a meetup every other day or something like that in a room. We're not going to talk to each other. We're just going to silently work on things. Okay, that's what Zoomers do now, because they're so distracted by other things. They have no self-control. They have to be in a room where each other watch each other, where they watch each other, okay, to make sure that they're not distracted, for them to actually do work. Now, the most absurd thing is they have continued to do this apparently over Zoom, because I get emails about it, but they apparently do this still. They like all sign into Zoom just so they can sit there silently and not talk and like write to themselves and do work to them, on themselves. That is just the most absurd thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. It's just crazy. That's just how it is. So I am so glad that I left a university, that I don't have to continue the pretense of doing this kind of stuff. Because you know what? How stupid would it be if I had a PhD defense over Zoom? Like, how humiliating would that be? I can't even imagine that. Jean-Pierre sends in $2.75. Sadly, all I can afford, as my South African university hasn't paid me in 4 months, and now I live on less than $14 in my account. Wow, well, that's very gracious for you to spare any of it then. Anyway, what I'd really like to ask about is video codecs. I teach students who at best have access to 4G, but most only have 3G as their only internet access. What video codec minimizes file size and which minimizes encoding performance? Well, nowadays, the best you can pretty much do, the best you can probably do is like look up YouTube's default upload, or like their recommended upload thing, and that's basically going to be it. Or like download a video from YouTube and see what the codecs they have. Okay, so what would that be? That would probably be Opus for audio, and then for the extension, and I guess that's, either that or Ogg Vorbis for whatever. And for video, I guess they come in WebMs nowadays most of the time. But that is about as good as it's going to get. Like, for videos, you're not going to have that. If you really only have 3G, I would just forget about having videos. You would have to do some 1 frame a second stuff, and yeah, I don't think that would be a feasible thing. I think it'd be better to use another kind of medium aside from videos in that case, if it's really that bad. But I'm not the person. I am a person to ask, because I do, have to deal with streaming and stuff like that. I've tried to stream from my internet at home. Okay, I cannot even get, if I do 1 frame a second and have a super small resolution, I still can't stream from my house. Okay, so that's why I'm out here. So let me see if there are any. All right, let's see if there are any super chats that I missed. $5 from Yves. How does it feel to have made it so big that the mainstream media is making hit pieces on you? No one cares. Like, no one. I said this in the PeerTube stream, so I'll say it again. Like, on my contact page, I literally say, if you send me some stupid internet drama, especially if it's about me, I will just block that stuff. I don't care. No one cares. No one reads that stuff anyway. Like, so a lot of people still give this like symbolic credence to the media for some reason, and I want people to realize this. Like, PewDiePie is bigger than CNN, okay? Like, that's what people need to realize. Like, Pew News is literally bigger than CNN, okay? Like, these, I guess, legacy media, stuff like that, like these journalist rags, like, all of them are so much smaller scale than you think. They just have this excised influence that you give them because, oh, that's a media, I have to listen to what these people say, when in reality, what a news article literally is nowadays, in 2021, is some questionably mentally sound person on Twitter heard a rumor and wrote a news article about it, okay? That is what the media is. And that's, frankly, the red pill is, that's always what it has been. It has always been grievance mongering. And what's the word I'm looking, they're gossip mongers, really, you know. So no one cares. Pseudo Intellectuo donates $2. Hi Luke, you're a good guy, but one day you will look back and cringe at saying Evangelion was garbage. The same way that you cringe at your rapping career now. Well, I don't cringe at that because no one has to see that. No one has to know about it. But no, Evangelion is indisputably... I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. That's just stupid. Steven donates $5. What do you think the client-server model for the web... Okay, I think he mistyped this. Do you think the client-server model for the web will endure? Could a peer-to-peer model ever gain traction? Possibly. I think there are some protocols that I'm not familiar with where you can have more or less peer-to-peer communication. But I am honestly not even sure how they work. Okay? I've heard about them. There is some kind of social media thing where it is not, like, there's not a web server for it. It's like directly peer-to-peer. I forget what it's called. But that kind of stuff exists. I don't even know the name for, I guess, peer-to-peer internet. I don't know. It would be nice if that were the case. You know, but I don't know if it necessarily is yet. Will it catch on? You never know. JS something donates $3. Is Varg big cringe now? On Twitter, he's been saying for months that Corona is bad AF, and he uploaded a picture of his kid with a mask. He also said we should eat lots of carbs. Cringe! Yeah. Varg, I don't think handled his banning very well from YouTube. That's my vision of it. I don't really know what's going on with him, but I think that, like, after he got kicked off YouTube, which I don't even remember what the rationalization for him being kicked off was. Other than white man bad, I don't know. I forget. I think it was like a literally nothing video that, like, no one would have even noticed. But yeah, I don't think he handled banning well because he started going on Twitter and he started saying like he'd have a very wide range of people watching his YouTube channel and diverse opinions, not as if that's necessarily always a good thing, but like he would be more accommodating to people on YouTube. But based on like Twitter, his Twitter behavior, it seems like he's gone a little, I mean, I'm not saying that like tolerating people for being wrong is a good thing, but like he's a little more, like he's not being as diplomatic as maybe he should be. At least that's how it seems to me. I don't know if that's really how it is. But as for Corona, I think I'm a little surprised. I had not heard that he cared about Corona. I find that very surprising. But I would categorize it. On the last stream, I actually talked about Nassim Taleb, because he's one of these guys who, not just in Corona, but in other things, became extremely cringe by the end of 2020, okay? And Nassim Taleb is someone I've recommended. Varg, I've recommended people to consume his content as well. And Nassim Taleb, I recommended people to read his books. I still think they're mostly good. But I think both of them, they latched on to the Corona stuff as, you know, Nassim Taleb is like, here's the Black Swan. I talked about this in one of my books. Oh, look at all this stuff that's going to happen. And I think he assumed that this thing was going to be way bigger than than it actually was. And he assumes that the fact that it's has not become a big thing is because of all the great lockdowns that we've had. Which is, you know, I guess he hasn't really looked that hard into the statistics of, you know, what is the degree of inflation in this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And I think maybe Varg has had the same thing. I think there's a sense in which that the apocalypse scenario kind of validates his worldview. Now, when coronavirus hit, I did a video on this that I felt the same way. Oh, this has validated, you know, me moving out into the country and stuff like that. But it's not because I believe... I mean, at the time, I was like, okay, maybe the disease is still going to be a big thing. But really, the actual black swan is the lockdown. Is this being used as a rationalization for a literal, actual police state, you know? So, that, I think, that... I don't know, that's my way of looking at it. But... So, it's raining now. I don't know if that's too loud. I might be talking louder. I don't know if you can hear me less or better or what. I feel like I'm screaming at the mic. If I sound autistic, it's not because I actually am. It's because I'm being a little louder. Okay. Munduk sends in $5. Can you recommend some good tools for getting into orthodoxy? Shoot. Well... People usually recommend the book, The Orthodox Church by Timothy Ware. I do have that. I got it a little after I was interested in it. I started getting into orthodoxy because I started learning about Catholicism. And there were a bunch of problems I had with Catholicism, like doctrinal things that I was confused about. And I realized, like, orthodoxy on all of those points is sort of better. So weirdly enough, I was sort of led to orthodoxy through Catholicism, okay? Which, of course, if you're a Protestant, you think that they're somehow the same thing. They're not. Like, the more you look at it, the more you'll realize, like, Protestantism and Catholicism are basically the same thing. And then Orthodoxy is the one that's, like, really more traditional. And it's set apart from them. I think people mentioned it in the last stream, or him in the last stream. There's a guy named Jay Dyer. If you want to consume video content... He does a lot of stuff on orthodoxy. Jay Dyer, that's D-Y-E-R, I think. I don't really watch his stuff, but I know a lot of other people watch his stuff, and they like it. So, that might be a good... I mean, if you like the video medium, that might be an option. But there was not, like, one book or one experience that, you know, led me to orthodoxy or something like that. Okay. Thoughts on replacing GNU with BusyBox? Thanks for your videos. I've had no reason to. I'm trying to think what BusyBox would lack that GNU has. I'm pretty used to, yeah, I'm pretty used to the GNU core utils and stuff like that, and with all the added features. I don't actually use them that much, but there are some... I don't know if I can part with the I tag on sed. That's the only thing I don't know I can part with. I don't know if BusyBox has that or not. But I'm pretty sure they have them on BSD nowadays. But okay. All right, my back hurts. I'm sort of bent over this thing. Gotta watch my. You know, I didn't actually mention it earlier in the stream. Maybe I should say this. YouTube banned me for a week. I guess I didn't mention that at all. Yeah, that's why I haven't posted in a week, because I said in the last stream I'm going to put up videos in just a second. Yeah, YouTube banned me. Of course, as usual, they don't tell you why they ban you, okay? But it was for a week, and it was this video. But here's my assumption. It was like the video I did when I hit 100,000 subscribers. And in the video, I'm guessing that it was because I named the Pajit, which apparently you can't. Actually, we're not on this channel. You can't say Pajit anymore, because YouTube apparently bans people for saying that. So we're now going to call them Soy Devs of Color, okay? So in this video, I named Soy Devs of Color by name, by the P word. I guess YouTube said this is inciting violence. Inciting violence. And in the video, what I said is, man, remember when all those Soy Devs of Color, you know, they used to make all these, like, junky YouTube videos with, like, bad microphones and stuff? And that was it. It's the only thing I said in that video. So that was enough for a ban. That's inciting hate speech against Soy Devs of Color. So, yeah, that's why I was banned for... So this is why I did that stream on PeerTube. Because I was like, I need to figure out how to stream on PeerTube, okay? And get this thing done. So that should be your motivation. Like, YouTube is so arbitrary. And the thing is, no sane person would be like, oh, yes, this is a video endorsing hate speech. So insane. But of course, YouTube, like, everyone knows when you say hate speech, or when you say any of this, even the idea of community guidelines, right? What does that mean? What community sat down and decided this? I am not part of this community. No one else is. It's YouTube pretending, putting some kind of I don't know, like wholesome spin on their corporate policy. But anyway, anyone on YouTube can tell you get banned for any reason. They can find any reason to like delete videos or anything like that. And now it's becoming a liability to have old videos up. You know what I mean? So it's just a big pain. And that video had been up for like months. Like I've gotten strikes on videos that are like 5 years old. Literally, as old as my channel. It's insane. And like they're always changing the rules. They're always making them meme whatever they want. It's so stupid. So the goal I stated in a stream at the beginning of this year, my goal this year is being independent of YouTube. I want you watching this channel, I want to be able to do a stream on PeerTube or somewhere else, and you know, people be able to follow me there as opposed to here. Okay. So anyway, let's see. I'll check donations. Sorry if it's getting loud out here. Alright. No donations since I last talked. Actually, let me check. Okay. Say in the chat, go click on the donate page, say if it crashes. Okay, just go to the donate page, click on stuff, and see if it crashes. Because it looks like donations have been going through. I've been reading them, but I just want to make sure. Trying to think how much stuff I should have here. And of course, there are Bitcoin donation links and stuff. I really want I mentioned this before, like a Monero super chat ability, you know, like to have something on my server where I could like check the blockchain and give me a notification if I get a donation. Like some way for someone to put in a message. That would be nice. But I don't think the technology with Monero would be extremely difficult to work that out with. But Bitcoin could be doable. Alright, let me look at the chat. Are people saying things are broken? Let's see. $69. Alright, from Nathaniel Hill. I'll pay big shekels for the ultimate Dyer Smith collab. Yeah, I don't actually know the guy. I mean, I know about him. I don't know what we talk about. Like, one thing is, you know, most people on YouTube, they do branding very well. Like, you know, you go to Jay Dyer, you know, he's sort of the orthodox guy. He talks about other stuff, but people know him. Oh, he's the orthodox guy, right? Or tech channels. Like, you go to Brody Robertson's channel, you go to Mental Outlaws channel, you go to, I don't know, DistroTube or something. Like, all those channels, they're, like, branded. You know, oh, this is a technology channel. Whereas, how do you explain my channel? Okay, I do probably mostly still technology videos. But, like, if you sent my link to, like, Jay Dyer, what's he gonna think of me? Why would I talk to this guy? That'd probably be his reaction. And I think that's how most people are. They're like, what does this guy do? He does a bit of all this weird stuff. Okay, it's really coming down out here. I don't actually know. I feel stupid yelling at the microphone because, I don't know, maybe this mic is so good you can't hear the rain, but I don't know. Look at that. Okay, it's starting to rain on my back. Yeah, it's coming down sideways. Alright. Easy says, my X200 tablet keeps killing fans. High-pitched whine when a fan error, then a fan error that prevents startup. It's not something getting stuck in the fan. Ideas? I don't know, like, when it comes to something like that, I'm not good with hardware. And if I were to see a problem like that, I'd assume, oh, it's something that's, to fix it, it would require soldering, so I would not know. Your channel is 2009 tier, someone said in the chat. I agree with that. I like that. Like, YouTube was back in 2009, that's when YouTube was, like, good, you know? Are you and Chris Acapinti making another collab video? I don't know. You know what? I think I live closer to him. I mean, well, I remember when I moved south, you know, I was in Georgia and then I moved south of that. I emailed him saying, hey, we're going to live, like, within a day's drive of each other. So maybe we could do something sometime. But, yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. I've been pretty busy here the past 2 years. It's weird to say. Flexagon Park, 100 rubles, I guess. I don't know. Hey, Luke, have you heard of GTD, getting things done? Method of organizing your personal projects? If yes, what do you think about it? I don't buy any of those. Okay, I honestly feel like you can't hear me out here. I don't know. I can barely hear my own voice right now. But, I've heard of it, but I am automatically suspicious of anything. Any kind of self-discipline thing I'm just suspicious of, because I just sort of feel like, I don't know, just do it if you really care about it. You know, that's my, I'm a boomer, though. Michael sends in $5. Are you in favor of memorization when learning languages, or you to prefer to constantly reading material and gradually picking it up? I'm gonna have to do a video on that. I was thinking about doing that the other day. How do I memorize stuff? I don't memorize stuff. Memorization means, you know, connecting irrelevant facts with other irrelevant facts. I don't do that. Oh, you can hear my clicks? I can connect now. I'll become Orthodox. Alright, maybe. I might be open to that. But don't force me on him. Don't force me on Jay Dyer, because he might, look at my channel and be like, what is going on here, you know? Does it... Okay, people say that they can hear me. Does it sound like I'm screaming at the mic? I don't know. Alright, maybe I'll talk a lot quieter. I don't know if you can hear me right now. I'm not quite sure. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's what I want to know. Okay, there's water all over my face right now. It is just coming through. Alright, phosphate donations. Phosphate donation, $6 from Gekka. Do you believe that all non-Christians will go to hell? What about people who've never heard the gospel? I legitimately don't know what to think about this. Thanks. Well, this is a good point on the Orthodox Church, because in the Catholic Church, you know, they have a systematized way that you get to heaven, right? You know, you get baptized, you're forgiven of your sins. If you fall into mortal sin, you have to go through confession. Catholics have this way, you know, system of getting to heaven. Protestants reject the whole thing. They're like, that's autistic. You just have faith, or something like that, right? Okay? Now, the Orthodox, this is a point on which Orthodox are ambivalent, okay? They say, we're going to follow God's commandments. We're going to tell people the gospel. But we don't always fully know the fate of all people. Okay, there's not a systematized way, in the sense that the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church have one. There's not a systematic way that an Orthodox says, this is how people get to heaven or not, okay? I mean, we're told, well, follow Christ's commandments. Follow Jesus' commandments, you know, abide by the faith. But there's still the possibility that people who do not profess orthodoxy, or who have never, you know, heard the gospel, that they might be redeemed. You know, there's still that chance. So the Orthodox Church is a little more ambivalent. I mean, not to say that they don't care about it, but they leave open the possibility that, like, ultimately we don't know how God will sort us. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, that's a little point. Ryuki sends in $3.50 a month. Thank you. Bitwave stream win. I don't even know what Bitwave is. Something Bitcoin related? I don't know. Cryptocurrency related. $5 from Inimora. I remember once a stream you described Buddhism as cringe, which I thought was pretty funny. Can you elaborate? concepts of meditation and mindfulness have actually helped me a lot in life. I know you dislike viewing religion as self-help, which could be related, but what's your middle ground between religion as a self-help / metaphor versus taking it completely literally? I mean, you can take something literally without saying that, you know, for example, the Bible, everything in there is not literal. Revelation is not literal. No one believes in a literal revelation. And I don't think you have to throw out the baby with the bathwater and say, oh, everything's a big self-help metaphor. As it comes to Buddhism, why I think it's cringe, it's because it's, you know, I'm really saying it's cringe in the Western use of it. Like, it's the thing that people, I don't know, like, people in the West use it as some kind of thing that, it's just some kind of faux Orientalism for, like, I don't know, ethnic points. That's what's especially cringe about Buddhism. And it is an ascetic philosophy where, like, the world is, like, the world sucks. You know, I just have to disconnect myself from it. I view that as cringe as well. Okay, yeah, it's getting a little quieter. Sorry if I've been yelling at the microphone. Sorry if you cannot hear. Either way, it should get better now. No one believes in literal revelation, right? No, like the Book of Revelation. Who believes in that book literally? Do you believe there's literally going to be a 7-headed, tin-horned beast that is the Antichrist? No. No, even so-called biblical literalists do not believe that that is literal. So, yes, they interpret parts of the Bible literally, they interpret other parts not literally. Alright. Okay, yeah. My voice was starting to get hoarse from yelling so loud. Okay, $5 from Shube. I don't know how that is. Hey, awesome content. Good to hear you. To an artificial mind, all reality's virtual. How do they know that the real world isn't just another simulation? How do you... Who cares? What does that even mean? Like, what is simulation? Like, this is the most cringe thing that people talk about. The idea of, what if the universe is a simulation? Okay? What does that mean by simulation? Okay, because at a level of abstraction, like, no matter what, you're gonna believe that if there's something beyond the universe, oh, we're like a simulation in that, or something like that. Okay? You might say our galaxy is a simulation in the universe, or something like that. In the same way, if you have a computer program that has people on it, you know, they might be on your hard drive and in your computer processor, but that still means they're real. Like, this whole, it's just like faux, it's this weird kind of, I guess, theosophy mixed with, like, weird cybernetics, like, cyberpunk viewpoint that, oh, well, like, what if everything's a big, projection or something like that, or simulation? Like, if everything is a simulation, it's still real. Who cares? You know? And of course, unless you are a bugman atheist, you believe that the world is a simulation in a sense. You believe that it is a creation, it is not essence in itself, okay? So, yeah. I mean, the only people who believe that there's not extra levels of abstraction are people who think there's just the physical universe and that's it, okay? Okay, W and Christopher donates $10. Oh, sorry, you said read my name as W, but okay. W, $10. I'm thinking of moving to the south and joining the Eastern Orthodox Church. I'm sick of living in rootless coastal areas where I've lived most of my life. How would I, a college graduate not studying something stupid, from outside the region, meet new people in the south? Well, you go to church. That's the easy one. I mean, you don't have to even start at an Eastern Orthodox church. You can just go to a Southern Baptist church or something to start. In fact, there might be more people your age or something there. So that is the standard place to meet someone in a functioning society. You go to church, go to social events, most of which you learn about from church. You go to festivals, most of which you learn about in church. But that is the place to go, you know? So... $5 From BJ, will you get a conventional vaccine for COVID when one is available in the U.S.? Why? Oh, you mean like a not mRNA? No, why would I do that? Like, okay, show me actual evidence that the coronavirus is not absolutely equivalent to a seasonal flu. And maybe I'll think about it. Oh, wait, no, I won't, because... Yeah, I don't know, this is so... Yeah, no. Anyway, now a lot of people... Actually, on that... So there are a lot of people who, like, diminish... Who want to say, oh, coronavirus isn't a big deal, who make stupid arguments. So one of them is the coronavirus numbers are inflated, okay? And I think there's a sense in which that's true. But in reality, it's really the normal seasonal flu numbers that are deflated. And what I mean by that is everyone nowadays who has this coronavirus thing is written off as a coronavirus death. Or if it, like, plausibly is related. Okay, there have been some stories of people who get into car accidents and die and get written as a coronavirus death, but later they change it because obviously that's stupid. But in normal years, if someone who is extremely sick, extremely old, if they get a flu and die, if they have cancer or they have something else, you're not going to say that that is a flu death. You don't write it off as that. Sometimes you might, but you don't all the time. But that has changed now. So I think, in reality, I think the coronavirus deaths, they are probably actually, well, they're probably still inflated, but not by that much. That's what I would say. In reality, we are just seeing, some guy driving by, anyway. We are just seeing, what would normally be attributed to the flu if we were so autistically serious about, writing off flu deaths as this. So you can call me a cuck for not saying that coronavirus is inflated. Although it probably is. I mean, it certainly is, but, like, not... I think the issue is more the deflation of the normal flu numbers. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think in terms of how fast it spreads, I think the coronavirus data is probably legit. But yeah, no, I'm not going to get a vaccine for a disease that... might theoretically give a 5% chance of killing me if I were 90. $5 from Farzanef. Have you been influenced at all by Maddox? Writer of the best page in the universe. Ah, Maddox, King Cuck. So back in the day, Maddox is funny because, I knew about him when I was in high school, and I read his page every once in a while. Back when it was like, I remember reading his site and thinking, wow, this guy's so edgy, he's so, like, hardcore. And now I just look back at him and it's like, wow, this guy was a moron. This guy's, like, so cringe. I mean, he definitely jumped the shark. Everything he's done in the past, like, 5 years has been, like, continuous shark jumping. Like, he had some minor notoriety. I mean, you guys, I don't want to... Okay, I shouldn't do, like, e-drama stuff. I will just say I read his stuff when I was little. I actually liked his website, that it was so simple. And that is probably something that I've kept with me today. That's probably why my websites are so simple. Because... Maybe because of Maddox, I don't know. But, yeah, he definitely ended up doing some cringe stuff. Okay, I'll just say that. So, I'm not going to talk about it. You can look it up if you want. Kick donates $2.50. How hard to get a PhD? It's actually extremely easy nowadays. If you don't mind wasting time, that's the only thing. If you have nothing to do, you can do it. I don't recommend you getting a PhD, but... Okay, I'm starting to sound really hoarse. Because I've been screaming at this microphone for like 5 ever. Alright, let me look for super chats. R-Rod sends in 50 NIO, don't know what those are. WebDev, it's not my fault that NPM is stupidly broken. Well, I don't know, I'm not saying it's your fault for using NPM, but I don't. I mean, well, actually, I should say I have... My PeerTube instance requires, Node.js and stuff like that. So that's, I have it on that, but no other site I'm ever going to use any kind of JavaScript stuff unless it's strictly necessary. Like the donate page right here, that has JavaScript, but only for a specific reason. It takes your credit card information and sends it directly to the processor, so it's not on my server. So I don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about me stealing your credit card information. And I think that's actually a requirement by law. But, yeah, that's how it is. Oh, my goodness. Raining again. I should probably go in my car. Maybe I should do that. Because I think I'll leave here soon enough. Okay. I don't know how long this stream has been going. I feel like it's been a while, though. Okay, so, I'll probably do a separate video on it, but since I've already shielded already, I'll mention it here. Again, at the donate address, I highly, 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 highly recommend you, if you want me to continue making videos after YouTube bans me, or I quit this year, subscribe, like, set up a recurring donation of whatever amount, okay? Because, you know, as I said, I got banned from YouTube this past week. I can get banned for any reason at any time. Like, there's no telling. So, just set up a recurring donation here. Do it. It doesn't have to be that much, but it's just nice for me to have that stability. I will continue to make videos that go up on PeerTube. I will continue to make videos that go up on Odyssey, indeterminately, forever. As long as I have some kind of financial thing, you know, oh, I'm getting money for this, I'll do it, okay? So, as with YouTube, the biggest thing I'm worried about losing in YouTube is having your notification, being able to do streams, you know, giving you guys notifications, and, like, having a place where I can get new traffic, okay? But as it is right now, I'm happy now. I have my own video site, self-hosted. I have my own, you know, I have Odyssey and stuff like that, but please set up a recurring thing. There's a reason that I don't tell you to donate in every video like every other YouTube channel, because I think it's cringe, but realistically speaking, if I quit YouTube, or if I, you know, I'm going to start putting up videos on other platforms first before YouTube, and I'm going to gradually wean myself off of it this year. As I become more independent of that, I will need some kind of money somewhere else. And I'm working on other ways to get paid from what I do online. I have some, but yeah, donations, they count, okay? Because it's more or less peer-to-peer, and I'm going to keep doing what I do, okay? Let's see if there's anything else. Banned from you. Okay, I guess people are tuning in. Yeah, as I mentioned before, YouTube suspended me for a week because I said the P word. Okay? You guys can say it in the chat, but we no longer refer to subcontinental individuals by the P word. We now call them soy devs of color because we can't use the P word. That is apparently inciting violence. Like, when people hear the P word, they just want to commit acts of violence against poor subcontinental people who didn't do anything wrong except for, you know, put a bunch of ads on poorly formatted websites, okay? So we are now going to call it, see, it's okay to make fun of soy devs because soy devs are white, okay? Well, I don't know, eventually they'll probably, you know, crack down on them, but we can call, if you want to use the P word, please use soy dev of color now. That is the word that's the phrase we're gonna use now. Poor, oppressed soy devs of color. Alright, $5 a month. Thank you from JN. What are your thoughts on traditionalist Catholicism? You seem interested in Aquinas, however, his theology is not entirely accepted in Orthodoxy. Yes, I do like Aquinas. I like him a lot. And yeah, I mean, not all of his philosophy is accepted in Catholicism. I mean, there are many things that he argued that Catholicism does not accept. But yeah, I think I like Aquinas because he is a good intermediary between us and older ways of thinking. Not even necessarily for theology per se. I'm really thinking more, I mean, you know, he really started medieval Aristotelianism, okay? So I like him a lot. Thoughts on traditionalist Catholicism? If I were to be a Catholic, I would be a traditionalist Catholic. I mean, specifically, I've said this in the last videos, if I were a Catholic, I'd be, frankly, a sedevacantist. Because I can't, I can't live with the idea that Francis is actually a legitimate pope, and, you know, all the other post-Vatican II people. Elise donates $5. Seeing a trend in Zoomers going soapless. Is soap a scam? Yeah, soap is cringe. I do use soap every once in a while, but using soap every day when you shower, especially if you haven't done real work, that is cringe. Get a loofah, or whatever they're called, one of the little scraper things. That's all you need when you wash. Rinse yourself. Now, if you get lots and lots of grime on you, you can use soap. Okay? Or if you live in a country that has like 1,000% humidity, if you live in Brazil, you might need to use soap. But in real life, yeah, soap is like cringe. It's overused. It'll probably give you weird diseases or something. I don't know. It's not, most soap nowadays is just petrochemicals. It's not Lindy. Yeah, people overuse soap. I agree. I do usually... I guess I usually wash my hands in soap. Pretty much always. Maybe that's cringe. Maybe I'm not red-pilled on that. Actually, I probably use dishwasher detergent more often. Because that's usually... When I wash my hands, I usually wash them in the kitchen sink. So, Eastern Roman Empire or HRE? Well, if you read the articles that I mentioned before, what is it? How fake is Roman antiquity? You will learn that they're actually all the same thing. Holy Roman Empire, Eastern Roman Empire, Classical Rome, all the same Rome, all happening at the same time. That's the red pill. The first millennium was only 300 years old. That's the true red pill. You guys aren't ready for that. Alright, I might stop soon, because again, my voice is hoarse. And I already did my chores in town. That's why I came here. Alright. Okie dokie. How long is this stream gone? What's the P word? Don't say it, guys. Don't say the P word. You missed my last one, says Nathaniel Hill. Okay, let me check. I probably just saw your name and I was like, oh, I already read his thing. Let's see. Shoot. Oh my goodness, I gotta get rid of this stupid chat window. No streaming. Okay. Give me a second, gotta pull it up. I hate YouTube. This is truly... They truly do a terrible job at what they're supposed to do. Everything is so hard to use on the site. They're just annoying. PeerTube is... I feel like I need to sing the praise of PeerTube, okay? Because, as I mentioned, we did this, we did a stream on PeerTube. If you're not subscribed to me on PeerTube, go videos.lukesmith.xyz, there it is. Get an RSS feed to my channel or whatever. But I think that PeerTube needs some commendation because the streaming worked so well. I am very surprised. Now, they don't have a live chat, but it was very smooth. No one said there was any kind of buffering. I think it worked pretty well, so they are giving a product basically as good as YouTube, except for they don't have the chat yet, and they don't have super chat kind of things, but, do one thing, do it well. I feel like my little donate page is nice. Okay, I'm looking, how do I freaking look back at old... Oh, I hate YouTube so much. Okay, where is the button that shows me my former super chats? You know, if they were smart, they would just put it right here. Right here. On the live stream window. That's what it's there for. I hate this stupid thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some digging for that. In the meantime, remember to look up How Fake is Roman Antiquity. That's a good article. And it has 2 sequels. Alright, let's see. I think they put Super Chats in community or something really weird like that. Do they? Comments, content. Of course, they change it every freaking week. I'm a little frustrated. Anytime you have to do something basic on YouTube, it is such a pain. Such a pain. Super chats, super chats, super chats. Alright, I'll find it eventually. I will go ahead and reload my email, see if someone's donated. But I will probably... we'll draw it to a close. If you have any last-minute donations, go ahead and send them in now, because there's a little delay. And then I will read them, as long as people can delay me. Dashboard. Where are freaking super chats? Alright, I'll find it eventually, Nathaniel. Thank you for your donation. Viewer activity. Alright, in the meantime, as that loads, Carl donates $10 a month. Thank you, Carl. Thanks, Luke. Is it prudent to be reading a Latin... Sorry, the rain picked back up. A Latin-English version of the Summa Theologiae after only beginning to study Latin a few months ago? I'm wondering if doing this will be counterproductive. I don't think it would be counterproductive. Yeah, I don't think it'd be counterproductive. I don't think it'll harm you if you have access to that. If you have Latin and English. Yeah, it wouldn't harm you. I mean, if it's too much for you, you just, you know, come back to it later or something like that. Unless you just get discouraged or something, but... Alright, let's see. Okay, I think I found super chats. Hold on. I think. Nope. No, I didn't. It literally says no new super chats. What is wrong with you, YouTube? I hate this stupid site. Anyway, go donate. Wait, is it on this side? Go donate there. That is consistent. I actually get to see what you read. Or, I actually get to read what you say. If anyone else has something else. I'm sorry I cannot find your previous donation. That's how it is. The rain is comfy. Well, it sounds terrible on my side. I literally cannot hear my voice. It is so loud here. I mean, I have this thing I'm under has a tin roof. Alright, Stopping Power Pro donates $100. Alright, thanks a lot. Giving away my Stimmy check to charity, based, and non-pause free software non-profits to donate to. Ooh, that's the hard thing. Well, he's asking, I guess there's a question mark at the end, so he's asking where should he donate his money for, you know, non-profits or non-pause stuff. The thing is, if you're dealing, any non-profit I wouldn't trust, okay? I would donate to people, individual people who you know and trust. Like, oh, I like this software this guy wrote. I'm gonna give him money. That's, if you want to donate to someone, that's what I would do. Like, I don't trust any big charity or any, I don't even trust that there's such a thing as non-paused free software. I hear that people like Suckless are based. I cannot confirm that, but that's what people say. But I don't know, do they really even ask for money? I don't know. I don't know. They might have something financial worked out already. But yeah, I would just give it to individuals. That's what I would do if I were you. If you want to be gracious, because giving to individuals, you can trust that, okay, this person is not irresponsible. This person is not a consumer who's going to blow it on OnlyFans. He's going to, like, put it to something useful. That's... Anyway, thanks for your donation, though. BJ Donuts $5. Do you play any sports? No, I don't. Other than throw the rock. That is actually a highly red-pilled sport. You guys might not know about throw the rock. I don't think I've ever talked about my favorite sport on the channel. But it's called, you get a huge rock, like this big, and you throw it. That's like the funnest game you could possibly play. It's competitive too. You can play it with other people. Okay? Oh. Someone says, I'd pay big shekels for the ultimate Dyer Smith collab. I thought I read that. Yeah, post a new not related. Yeah. Whew. I might. Okay. Maybe. I might make them a little shorter. If I could do that, I might. You know, it's weird, not related. Even though I only did it for a couple months, and then I did a couple episodes a couple months ago. I actually got the best donations from Not Related. Okay, you know, I get super chats and stuff like that, but people would throw down like $100. You know, multiple people would do it just to see one of these episodes, and I was like, wow, I was surprised. So maybe at a mere financial interest, I should do that. And honestly, I feel like that it's probably a better medium. I mean, the reason I started doing Not Related is because I was, at that period as well, I was worried about YouTube. YouTube was banning a bunch of people. Sorry if you can't hear because of the rain. I can't hear anything, but YouTube was banning a bunch of people, and I wanted, okay, I don't know if I can host my own videos, but I can at least have an audio podcast. That's why I started it. And maybe I should think of it more like that. You said there'd be season 2 of Not Related, but there's only 2 episodes. Yeah, well, there'll be more. There'll be more. I'm just trying to think of the direction I want to take it, because I want them all to be different. But there's a... I don't know. There are episodes I want to do now. Okay, there's one that I recorded half of months ago, and I didn't post it because it was too based and red-pilled. I'll tell you that. Your voice is clear. I hope it's clear. But anyway. Oh, the rain is so loud. I cannot hear anything. $12.04. Check out from Hello, oh, okay, yeah, this is Nathaniel who gave the super chat I missed. Check out Lord of Spirits podcast for based Orthodox Old Testament takes. Okay, Lord of Spirits podcast. All right, I remember that. Lord of Spirits podcast for based Orthodox Old Testament takes. Lucas started lifting rocks. Yes, lifting rocks. Like, literally, I've said this before, I am so against gym membership. Any of, like, the workouts of people, I don't know, repetitive doing movements and stuff like that, I find that so cringe. Throwing the rock is actually based in red pill. Like, if I want a little more muscle mass, like a couple months ago, I was like, I'm looking skinny. I'm going to put on a little muscle mass. So I would just go out and play throw the rock. Or carry the rock is actually highly red pill too. Just carry it, you know, walk a mile or two. Not even that much. No, let's say a quarter of a mile, okay? With a giant rock in your hand. That will get you fit, all right? That'll get you fit quick. None of this soy boy stuff where you take juices and you lift weights. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. And that's why normally I'm super skinny, okay? I don't expect to be, like, I'm fine with that. But I'm still young enough that if I want to pick up the rock, throw the rock, I can put on muscle mass pretty easily. And if you're not eating soy or sugar, your body's going to be fine no matter what size you are. So that's my health plan. Just literally get a rock. Get a big rock. Has to be big. Just So it's hard enough, so it's really hard to, you know, put it above your head, but you can do it, okay? That's about the size you want. Where do you work out? At the library? No, at my house. I pick up the rock and I walk. I mean, outside my house, of course. And, of course, do it barefoot. Duh. Yeah, Throw the Rock is based in Red Pilled. Carry the Rock is based in Red Pilled. Sandbags are for posers. Only the rock, the true rock, because you need the, like, unique curvature and, like, the idiosyncrasies of a rock, you know? It needs to be, like, it can't be even, like a sandbag. That's soy boy stuff. You want a real rock. A real rock. And this rock that I have, it's in my yard. It did not actually come from my yard. This rock was at the last house I lived at, okay? And I like this rock so much, I put it in the U-Haul with the rest of my stuff, and I brought it here. Because when you find a good rock, that's all you need. How can BAP ever recover from this? Ross donates $1 a month. How do I escape Brickbong land? Well, the ship has literally sailed. You had like 400 years to escape. It's a little too late now. I feel so bad for anyone who, like, any person in the British Isles who did not come to America. I cannot imagine how cucked you must feel right now. Not just in Corona, just in everything. Like, does anyone feel... Well, I'm not going to say that. That's too controversial. I won't say that. People might take that personally, so I'm not going to say that. Alright. I feel like I gotta... Okay, I know I've been saying I'm going to go for like 5 hours. Because today I don't have anywhere to go after here except for just to the store. Right. Jean-Pierre donates $1. Were you thinking of using Usenet earlier? By the way, is agnosticism based or cringe? Usenet. Why would I think? No. No, as a peer-to-peer thing, is Usenet peer-to-peer? I don't know. That's not what I was thinking about though. Yeah, agnosticism is like cringe of like. Let's say you're a cringe addict, and you're like, oh, I'm an atheist, but that's not enough cringe. How can I max myself up? Then you become an agnostic. That is beyond cringe. And then you'll be like... Then cringe beyond that would be like, I'm agnostic, but like, I observe Buddhism. That would be like peak cringe, or some kind of like really cringe, like pagan stuff. Okay? That would be peak cringe. But yeah, agnosticism is about as cringe as one word can get, you know. NATO's coming and Luke's standing on his ground, based in Red Pill. I don't know who that is. That's 5 reals from Mateos. I don't know who that... Oh my goodness, I've like burned through my whole laptop battery. I even brought my ThinkPad Slice, and it's about $25. Why are people saying say it? Say what? I must admit, I've turned on the chat and people are saying say it, but I don't understand. Like, everyone's saying it. I have no idea what people are saying. Okay, well, whatever. I'm sure it's delayed anyway. Alright, let's see. You know, speaking of cringe, I just got an email entitled, "Please give the end of Evangelion a chance." Now that's cringe. Say it? The Pidgeot word? I mean, the P word? Oh, the Brit... Oh, no, now you guys have boosted it up to too much. It's not actually that interesting. I mean, it's it would harm people's egos, but it's not funny enough to actually say. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to say jokes that are insulting to people, but they have to be, like, super funny. And this one's like, eh. Well, it's not even a joke. It's just, like, a fact. You know, a fact about Britain that everyone knows. Alright. My boomer back's starting to hurt. I'm going to... Alright, I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna go. So, I'll probably record... Oh my goodness, I sound so stupid because my voice is so hoarse now. I cannot believe that I have sat here alone and yelled at a microphone in the rain. I am so glad that there are other people not here. Actually, there was some girl who was, like, running the trail around here. And she passed by me a couple times. But I think she had headphones on, so she didn't hear me ranting in the woods. See, I'm very self-conscious about doing stupid internet stuff around in real life, because it's very cringe. Alright. Oh, my throat. Sounds so stupid. Everything is wet. Everything is wet here. Rain is everywhere. But yeah, I guess that's about it. I think that's all the donations. Well, I'll double check. Oh, okay, one more. $5 from Torres. PeerTube is a great oh my goodness, my voice. Is great Fediverse free and open source software, but has started feature creep. I'd look into Owncast.online, FOSS streams just in case. Also, Sisyphus was the ultimate Chad. Oh yeah, for pushing up the boulder, I guess. Okay, apparently there were girls over there that were like under the Elder Shelter. Okay, I didn't even notice them come in. But now they're leaving because the rain is done. So yeah, I mean, PeerTube I like using. It's been a nice experience. I think I've heard of Owncast. Let me write that down. Owncast. I'll look into it. Sometimes people have recommended me other, you know, self-hosted video sites. But you know, now I'm in PeerTube. PeerTube's... it'd be sort of annoying to get rid of the Fediverse aspect. Maybe Owncast is that too, but... anyway, yeah, I'll check it out. Let me just double check if there are any more. Okay, I guess that's about it then. Alright. Okay, so, I guess that's about it. Didn't seem anything on the, chat. So, well, people are talking about girls. Okay, well. Cringe! No talking about girls around here. Alright, that's it. My computer's about to run out of batteries. I gotta get home. Thanks everyone who showed up, and again, set up a recurring donation. I know some of you guys got Biden bucks, so you can spare that. You don't have to get that much, but like realistically speaking, I just want to be independent of YouTube. That's going to happen by the end of the year, one way or the other. And I might do a review of the software that's running there, FossPay. It's very nice. If you're an open source dev, hate that word, dev. But if you do open source software, you might want to look into FossPay. It's the thing running there. You can look it up. I think it says there at the bottom of the page. But it's nice software. I've seen other people using it. It's nice because it actually integrates with, if you have like a Patreon or GitHub whatever or LibrePay or other subscription services, it actually aggregates them all in one place so people can see how much, like you can set a target donation thing or whatever. But alright, well anyway, I'm just talking about that. That's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and go. How do I turn this thing off?